Hello and a warm welcome to today's episode of Business TV. And I'm your wonderful host, Lois Peters. And we will be bringing you news around technology, tech trends, business news of what's happening in Nigeria today, funding opportunities and investment opportunities where you can begin to leverage and build your life as an entrepreneur. And we have a very important guest on the show for today, as we are going to be leading conversations that will help us change our narratives towards building a successful life as an entrepreneur and as a business person. These and more we're going to bring to your way today. Just stay tuned and we'll bring it in shortly after the short break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited to talk about tell you who we have as our guest today on Business TV. He is a status coach. He is a youth development expert. He is a job creation addict. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as I make welcome the essay to the Governor of Imo State on job creation, Mr. and Honorable Remy Chukwunyere. Please. Thank you very much, sir. We're so excited to have you on today's episode of Business TV. We've been hearing a whole lot, and basically today we are concentrated on Imo State specifically. You know, so much has been happening. This is 2018, we're on our way to 2019, where of course everybody is concentrated on the political, is the political year. And I've heard so much about you, especially. I got very much interested about when I saw the whole job creation addict. Can you just enlighten us about the whole job creation addict? Is it that you are addicted to creating jobs? I would like to understand, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here this afternoon. Yeah, I am known as a job creation addict in Imo State.
Okay.
Yeah, the reason for that title is because I'm the one driving aggressive, self-employment and entrepreneurship development among young people.
Okay.
Yeah, for us in the state and by the mandate I have, my job is to reduce unemployment.
Okay.
Among young people, and you can see it's a very tall objective. And to do that, I decided to go into research, and I came up with an idea. I said, look, if we allow government to create jobs in the public service, it's not going to absorb all the unemployed young people we have in the state. I also discovered that the way to go around the world today is encouraging young people to create jobs for themselves.
Okay.
By turning their passions and their skills into business ventures. Again, I also looked around. I saw that all the people that we celebrate today that are maybe the richest persons around the world, none of them is working for any company.
Okay.
None of them is working in the oil company. None of them is working even in the bank or in the government. They created business empires.
Okay.
So I also went into research and discovered that these guys started from somewhere, from the scratch. Are you getting it? Because they turned their passions and businesses, ideas into business opportunities. And that's how they are being celebrated today. So I now said this is the way to go. And I launched an aggressive campaign in that regard, encouraging young people to embrace self-employment. you know, and this enterprise development we're talking about. So that earned me this title, the job creation addict.
Okay.
Because everywhere I go, that is, you know, the message I pass across, even beyond Imo State. Because like I said, that is the way to go. That's the way to go. Are you getting it? It's not by waiting for white collar jobs that don't exist anymore. Are you getting it? You know, so that is why they call me the job creation addict.
Okay, sir, I wanted to find out, first of all, 2 questions I want to ask you, sir. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would be your response as to how well you've been able to create jobs for, you know, the youths of Imo State? And secondly is the fact that how big of a problem do you think job creation is with regards to the Imo ecosystem?
Now, let me tell you, the truth is that I have empowered so many young people in Imo State.
Okay.
Now, I tell people, say, look, the first stage is changing the orientation of these young people.
Beautiful.
Because their mindsets are already fixed at looking for a job when they graduate. And like I also say, the schools don't teach us how to make money or to even become successful. Are you getting it? Okay, let me use myself as an example. I always do that. Where I said, look, I studied industrial biochemistry, for example,
wow,
in the university.
Wow.
But I can't remember all those things I learned in school. Are you getting it? I'm doing something else, far away from what I learned. At times people think I'm a lawyer. At times they think, you know, just because I am passionate about this thing. Okay, let me tell you, I never read economics. I read all through my secondary school years. Because I read sciences all through. Okay. I never came across economics. But I am talking business more than those that studied business management. It has to do with, there's something in everyone. I get it. So by the time you discover it, what you need is just discover it and begin to start from somewhere. As you go, you learn and improve on what you already know. So in Imo State, I have done a number of engagements with young people. And I have several cases and testimonies of young people that after listening to me, maybe in a conference or in a training or even one-on-one engagement, they went home and started something. I have cases. I have some girls, some ladies that have given us such testimonies. Okay. Are you getting it? Now, just like I said, some people have bogus ideas of what they want to do. Okay. And then they also have a budget that if you allow them to raise the money in 10 years, 20 years, they won't be able to do that. So when they come, when I get close to them, I sit them down and say, look, what is it that you want to do? After hearing such a person, I will come up with an amazing solution for the person that will help the person start immediately. Okay. Now I tell them, say, look, number one, you don't need an office to get started.
Definitely, sir.
Your phone, some businesses can be started with just your phone, some with just your laptop. I also tell them, you don't even need to register to get started. Okay, for example, you are interested in farming or in agriculture. NAFDAC will not come after you if you're producing vegetables. They won't come after you if you're producing cucumber. So why do you need to get registered first? Now, some people think if before they launch out, they must have registration certificate from CNC or wherever. They must have an office space. Some of the young boys you see on the road, they even want official cars before they launch out. Okay. So after speaking with them, they now find out that, oh, this is my budget of 1 million naira to get started. I can even start with 10,000. I can start with 20,000. I have several cases of people that came with such bogus ideas and capital. But after I spoke with them, they went home and started with the little they have. Again, let me tell you, another serious challenge that I have encountered wherever I go is that you see young people that say, sir, I can do this, I can do that, but I don't have money. I don't have anybody to finance me. The government is not helping us. I laugh at them. Why I laugh at them is, number one, I said, look, if you're waiting for the government to give you money to start up, you will never start. You will never start. The big names we celebrate today, none of them waited for the government. The big names, even in Nigeria, I don't want to go far. Even in Nigeria, the big names that we celebrate today are successful in their businesses. They never got money from the government before they launched out. Then I also told them, said, look, the money is there waiting for you, but first of all is start first, start. If your idea is still in your head, nobody will support you.
Definitely, sir.
Are you getting it?
Very true.
Even your relations, your father, your mother will not give you money if the idea is still in your head. Because everybody is afraid of losing money. Even your own close relations, they are afraid of losing money. Now, but by the time you get this idea started, with the 10,000 naira or 20,000 that you have with you, when they see what you are doing, they will beg you to put their money to support you. Are you getting it? If your uncle in Lagos hears that you have started a poultry farm or you have started piggery farm, I'm just using those as examples. If you ask them for money, they will put their money there because they have seen what you are doing. But if you still have it in your head as an idea, nobody will give you money. So I came up with that as a strategy of resolving this lack of funding or access to finance. Start first. By the time you get started, people, for example, there are ideas you will launch out today, the government will send for you. They will say, come, we want to support you.
Sorry, sir, have there been cases like that?
Yes, I will tell you now.
Okay.
There was a case, I think, there was a case of a young man that invented a generator that doesn't run on fuel, doesn't run on diesel.
Wow.
Yes, the governor, he was in an exhibition. The governor was there, and I think that boy is abroad now because the governor promised to take him overseas to advance on that technology.
Wow.
Are you getting it?
Yeah.
No. So, and there are several other cases. So what I'm telling you is the real solution to this challenge of I don't have money, I don't have that. If you, whatever it is that you want to do, put it down and get it started. Ideas are just like raw materials.
I like that.
They don't look beautiful until you give them thoughts, until you give them attention. That's when they just like gold. The ore is not beautiful, but when you refine the ore, it becomes very beautiful as gold. So that's how ideas are. And again, if they remain in your head, before you know it, they will evaporate. So that is why I encourage young people, whatever it is you want to do, get it started immediately. Don't wait for tomorrow. Before you know, and again, let me also tell you, there is, I know there is education for everything you want to do. For every vocation, there is education for it. Are you getting it? Now, so, again, you don't need to know everything that is required before you launch out.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard me.
Yes, sir.
You don't need to know everything that is required before you start the business.
Okay, let me just cut you in there, sir. Sorry.
Go ahead.
What does someone who have an idea, someone we can categorize as a startup, what does the person actually need to start a business, to start a flourishing business?
Now, first of all, I said you don't need to have everything that is required before you launch out.
Okay.
Now, what you need is, that's your idea. If you like, you can share with some people and know if it's going to work out. Then you can also research and find out maybe some other people that have had or that have similar ideas, how far it has taken them, and get it started. By the time you get it started, you will learn on the go. As you go, you learn on the job. As you go, you learn on the job. Let me give you a typical example. If you're into poultry farming, or you want to go into poultry farming, for example, I have had cases of people that we mentor that got into that. My dear, as soon as you are ready, you want to go and buy the birds. You start getting mentored from there. At that point of you purchase. Because the person selling those beds to you will begin to coach you on what to do so that you don't lose your beds. When you go to buy feed, you another mentor starts, a mentoring starts. They will ask you, is it day old or that one? They will even tell you, prescribe the type of feed that you need for the bed, the drugs and all of that. Maybe you never heard about those drugs before. So at that point, you are learning that. Some of them will even volunteer to take you to your farm to go and help you clean up the farm so that you can remain in business and then also keep them in business. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes,
So that is what I mean by you don't need everything that is required before you launch out. But by the time you get started, people will come to support you.
Okay, you know, I like that point you raised, sir, because I think one of the challenges that a whole lot of startups are facing is actually starting. A whole lot of them have ideas, a whole lot of them, I don't even think that funding is primarily the problem of majority of startups, but the problem is having to start, having to get the morale to start. You know, I have a whole lot of questions to ask you. So, we've heard so much from him and we're going to hear so much more from him. Don't run away, just stick around. After this time out, we'll continue. Stay tuned. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Business TV. And remember, we have on our guest today, the SA of the Imo State Government, Honorable Remy Chukwunyere, the job creation addict. Sir, we said earlier before, we are very grateful to have you on our show today. You've said so much, and one of the striking things I have picked out, like I said before we ended before the break, is the fact that the whole lot of startups are finding it out to step out on their dreams. I don't know if it's a situation of the confidence. You know, is it the confidence to start out, or is the problem the funding or the finance?
Okay. Now let me tell you. Let me tell you. It is fear.
Okay.
Now, you know the reason everybody is afraid of losing money.
Okay.
Everyone is afraid of losing money.
Okay.
So those young people, they are also afraid of losing their money. Now, but let me tell you the truth. If you have not lost money before in business, it means you have not done well. You've not tried enough. If you have not lost money before, you have not tried enough. It means you have not tried. So that is the fear. If they can overcome that fear, even if you lose, and that's also why we encourage you to start small. Lean innovation. Start small, so that even if you lose your money, you will learn from that experience and start again. You now overcome what happened, the challenge you had that you couldn't overcome that led to the failure. You now start again. Are you getting it? Yes. So that's why we encourage start small, lean innovation. No matter how big your idea is, start small and then grow from there. Now let me also tell you that all these big businesses we celebrate today started small. So started small. Okay, let me give you a typical example in Owerri. We celebrate Uzbek Communications. I don't know if you know about Uzbek Communications.
Yes, I'm aware.
Good. History has it that Uzbek started as a recharge card seller.
Okay.
The communication company you see in Owerri today started as a recharge card business. And look at how big it has grown. Are you getting it? Yes. Okay, let me tell you another one. Twitter Bites today is a big restaurant. She told me how she started. She started in faraway Jos. How? She was just selling more and more. I don't know if we have time for the story.
Yeah. Have all the time
okay.
To
Yeah. She cooked my for her family to eat. She had a visitor. Her friend came, and after eating the mai with them, she said, "Oh wow, this is wonderful. It's so tasty. Why don't you prepare and go to the local government council opposite your house and sell to them?" She said, "Are you serious? Can they buy?" That other woman said yes. That's how she went. That afternoon, she went to the market, brought and prepared my went to the council, local government council. They finished the whole thing. She went back the same day, did another one. They finished the moi. That's how her business started. She now started supplying moi. If they had meetings, they will invite her to cook for them, to prepare moi. That's how she started. She told me this story. The owner of Twitter Bites restaurant. That's how she started. Are you getting it? So what I'm telling you is, okay, you know Bill Gates. Maybe I can go there. Okay, let me, before that, Dangote, for example. Dangote started, the history has it that while he was in school, as a primary school student, a kid, his parents found out that he was busy selling things, and they helped him to drop out. They said, oh, if this one is what you prefer, it's better you stay away from school. And he started selling his I don't know what, but he started selling those things as a young boy. And look at where Dangote is today. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you know the story of Bill Gates. I wanted to talk about him. He started hacking computers at the age of 13 and was admitted to read law in Harvard University. He abandoned it. And look at where he is today. Are you getting it? Even as at that time he was into programming, there were jobs he got that he didn't even have an idea of how to solve them. Some softwares that he was asked to develop for some people that he never had an idea of how to do. But he accepted those jobs and went to study with the co-founder of the foundation, what do you call it, Microsoft. Okay. They went on research and solved the problem. Are you getting it? So what I mean is that idea, you don't need all that you need to get it done. Just launch out. When I started this enterprise development thing, like I said, my background is pure sciences, physics, chemistry, and all those stuff.
I can totally relate.
But I don't know economics. I never read economics anywhere. Even government in the school, I never did. So, but when this thing came, I said, okay, I think this is the way to go. And because of the job I have at hand, let me go into it and spread this good news. That's how I started. So I started publishing what I call Business in You Daily. Business in You Daily. As I speak with you, the first day I did it, it was like a joke. I just wrote something and posted on my Facebook wall and on WhatsApp. People started commenting. The feedback was excellent. I said, are you serious? The next day I tried it. That's how I started. And now let me tell you, each day I didn't plan. I don't plan what to write until I sit down on my computer, and that's usually about 11 p.m. As at 11 p.m., unless I sit down, I don't have anything. My brain will be blank. So when I sit down and begin to, that's when the idea will come.
Okay.
I don't pre-plan it. So now, but because I knew that people were waiting to read from me, I was doing that every day, and something excellent. And each day, the feedback continues to come from UK, from US, from around the world. People were enjoying the stuff. Me that never read economics anywhere. Me that did not study even government, commerce, nothing, pure science student. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
So, but because these are real life issues, that's what we fail to understand. These are real life issues. For example, look at what I told you now, starting now. And nobody told me it's a good strategy to beat lack of funding, for example. Are you getting it? I didn't learn it anywhere. But I saw that as I said, okay, start now. That's good. I said it. Start now with whatever you have, so that when you get started, people will see you and begin to support you. Then the issue of, I said again that it's only passion that can drive a successful business.
Very true. Very true.
It's only passion. Nobody told me that. Now, but I discovered that by the time I was working in this sector. I said, that's true. Because when you look at what is passion or what you're passionate about, you now link it up, you now see that this thing is your talent. The thing that God created you for. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
So, because the thing you're passionate about are the things that you do, you get satisfied whether you're paid or not. So when you now look at them closely, you now discover that they are originally the talent that God gave you. When you go to church, they tell you, discover God's purpose for your life. What is it that is God's purpose for your life? It's your talent. And what is the talent? It's that thing that you're passionate about, that thing you love doing, whether you get paid or not, you love it. Because there is inner satisfaction. It's coming from the inside.
Yes.
And my dear, if you turn it into a business opportunity, you start getting paid just to carry out a hobby. And that's why the people, the footballers, they are playing, they are enjoying the football they are playing, and we are paying them to play and enjoy themselves. That's why musicians, they are singing, they are enjoying the music that they love singing,
yes.
and we are paying to watch them.
Yeah.
And a Chinese proverb said, if you turn your passion into your profession, it means you will never work a day. It means you're not working.
Very true.
And Warren Buffett said, if you wake up any morning and you're not dancing to work, if you wake up early morning and you're not happy you're going to work, it means you need to change that job.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Because you're not passionate about it.
That's beautiful.
You know, some people wake up and they say, oh, this is another Monday morning, I will go back to that office again. I don't like it. It's because they are doing what they don't like. Whether they get paid millions of naira to do it, they are not happy.
Okay.
Are you getting it? And they will not succeed in that business. If you're doing what you're not passionate about, you will not succeed in that business.
Okay, you just said something now.
Yes, I can explain.
Okay. Just before you explain, I want to say something to the public, so we make sure that following us in this discussion.
Very good.
You know, you say first thing you said you must have to start. Nobody is going to help you. Nobody is going to believe in you until you start.
Yes.
Very important. Very important for startups to understand that people who have ideas. And the second thing you said is that passion. You must be passionate about what you are doing. Now, as a matter of fact, I can turn this the tips to successful business building.
Good.
Because you have to, number one, start out. You have to be passionate about what you want to do. But then again, sir, the question I want to ask as regards to the last thing you said is, really, is passion all you need? Because trust me, as someone who has started a business severally, I've also faced times of depression, times I know that passion was not cutting it at all. I was facing real challenges in life, and I'm like, I'm gonna quit today or tomorrow. I'm tired of this depression. I'm a happy-go-lucky person, but for some reason I was having depression every other minute. So do you think passion is really just what it takes to build a business? Passion, good, but do you think that's all it takes to build a business?
Okay, let me tell you something. Now, passion, I still maintain, is the only thing that can drive a successful business. Now, I didn't say that the other factors are not there.
Okay.
Now, but let me tell you why I said so. It is passion that will keep you moving.
Okay, very true.
It is passion that will keep you moving when the business is not making profit. It is that passion that you have for what you are doing that will keep you moving. When people are packing up, you are still on because you love it, what you are doing, whether you are getting paid or not, whether you are moving to another thing again. Are you getting it?
Yes,
and so that is also why I tell you, people, say, look, you don't even need to acquire new skills. Let me shock you again. Okay. You don't need new skills. New skills, that's skill training. People say not skill sets now. Skill training, maybe you want to go and learn so skill, learn the other one. I don't believe in that. Let me tell you why. If you learn that skill that is outside your passion, it will still pack up like other businesses. Okay, let me give you instances. Now, when I went to AJIP, Nigerian Jeep Oil Company headquarters in Abuja, to discuss partnership with them, they told me a story, experiences they have had in the past, maybe dealing with Niger Delta youths. Now they told me something. They said, look, the problem we have with your youths is that after we train them, maybe in welding, in computer, whatever, and others, we are surprised that the day of the graduation ceremony or whatever, when we hand them over startup kits, they exchange them for money at the gate.
Wow.
Have you heard this before?
No. Wow.
Okay. Now, the reason is because this person that was selected to learn welding doesn't like it.
Okay.
That was the opportunity that came, and he was forced to learn welding. This person that was asked to learn fashion designing didn't like it. It's just because that's what was on offer. She signed up for it. Now, at the end of the day, with all those starter packs, kits, equipment, and money, they just go at the gate, and the people are already waiting to buy from them. That's the experience they shared with me. Are you getting it?
Wow.
And that is also why some people go to school and learn medicine, and after learning medicine, they abandon it for something else.
Very true.
I've spoken to Nigerian Medical Students Association in their conference. When they invited me in the first place, I said, what am I coming to do with medical students? So I'm just an entrepreneurship coach. They said, sir, come and talk to us in Port Harcourt. Now, I went there and I looked at them. I said, okay, let me see these people. I said, okay, how many of you willingly applied to study medicine? I can't remember. Nobody raised hands. I said, okay, you. What was it that you wanted to study? This one said civil engineering, marketing, this one now. Are you getting it? Now, what it means is that either their parents or whatever influences led them into medical science, medicine. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
They didn't want to become medical doctors.
Okay.
Now, that is why if they leave school and maybe they still want to continue in that medical line, you find out that they don't do well as medical doctors.
Very true.
And that is also why, let me also tell you, that is also why when you go to hospitals, maybe there is an emergency. Now, you see some medical doctors, they are so wicked and they will not start treatment unless you make deposit.
Okay.
And I'm sure you have also had some cases where whether you pay money or not, the medical doctors will start treatment.
Yes.
Then why the others, they will say, have they made deposit? If you say no, say, they should go. The reason is because they don't love what they are doing. If you love what you are doing, the way you practice it will be different from somebody that was forced into the profession. That's what I also observed in the course of this campaign that I am into. The same applies to teaching. Some people took teaching just as an alternative. There is nothing else to do. If you watch them, you see how they teach. There are some people that are teachers by birth and they love it. There's also how they teach. They are not the same. So that is the role passion plays in this life and in business.
Very true. I think I've come to understand where the balance is, where passion is very important in business, because like you stated, sir, I once had my best friend when I was in secondary school. She had similar situation. She was good in technical drawing. She had skills of an architect. She had the details. Her skill set, other gifts, supporting gifts were there to support a passion into architecture. But the problem she had was that her father, being the only child, her father wanted her to study medicine. And I'm not talking about something that happened in America or something that happened even in Lagos. I'm talking about something that happened in LLA here, in Imo State, or somewhere towards River State. This girl failed woefully her first year, and she was about to be rusticated from the school until, let's say, I and some of my family members, we had to intervene because we had that close relationship. And this is just one out of millions or thousands of cases of people who are going. This is also the reason why I think in several corporate jobs, a whole lot of people don't have job satisfaction.
Yes.
But because of the money, the financial factor, the money income factor, they stick their neck to a job they don't like and receive everything just because they have to take money home. But then we have to understand, like Honorable has said, that passion plays a very important role. I agree with you when you say the whole thing about doctors who are passionate. You know, the truth is that when passion is involved in what you're doing, it goes beyond your objectivity, goes beyond that to a heart that is interested in providing solutions. You know, I'm just going to say this quickly. One of the definitions of an entrepreneur, as I read some of the online courses I took some time by, they said something about entrepreneurs. He said, one of the marks of an entrepreneur is that you are passionate about providing solutions.
Yeah, to the problems of the society.
The first port of call, the first indication of an entrepreneur is that he has a longing desire to solve a problem.
Correct.
Not necessarily the finances or the income or the money that comes with it or the pecuniary rewards that comes with that, but his preoccupation is basically to solve problems.
Good.
Now, I have been privileged to work with some startups, sir, and I believe that you have also been. I have realized that most of the people who start businesses because of the money. How do we begin to address that? How do we begin to change the narrative that as an entrepreneur, your focus, your core focus should be first, primarily, to solve problems? Because I always believe, and I tell people that where solution providing goes, financial rewards follows after. But a lot of people don't understand that. So how do we begin to change the narrative? How do we begin to educate people more on following their passion? Because the truth is, I studied biochemistry. Hear me and hear me well. I studied biochemistry. Well, I will talk about that on a later date, but I studied biochemistry, but I'm in love with business. The singular thought of a business idea gives me a high. It's as deep as that. This thing with God is as deep as that. But a whole lot of people have been in my shoes. They want to do a whole lot of things, but they come from the culture. First of all, if you're a female like me, the culture goes against a lot of things. The cultural narrative. If you want to start something, your parents is almost as if your parents want to live their lives through you, you know, and force you to study the professional courses. How do you think, sir, as a job creation addict and as a startup coach, how do you think we can begin to change that narrative? How do we change that narrative in people and help them step out in the direction? Because I believe the same thing you said, that God has given everybody something.
Yes.
And the earlier we start looking at that something that God has given us, the better for the whole world. So how do we begin to address that culture of thinking about passion first and not money?
Okay, I think basically that's what we are doing here, and that's also what my campaign is all about.
Okay.
You know, let me just emphasize on what you just said. Let me tell you something. I've told young people severally, if your interest is to make money, you will not get it. You will not get it. If that is your focus on the money, you will not succeed. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Now, just like you said, imagine when someone comes up with an idea that will bring cure for HIV/AIDS.
I'm waiting for that.
Money will be pursuing the person.
Definitely, sir.
Are you getting it?
Definitely.
Now, Bill Gates was the richest man in the world because he got us a solution to a whole lot of problems. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
And if you also look at these people that are on top there, you see that they are providing solutions to the problems of the society. So young people should be able to understand this fact, that if you don't solve a problem, you won't make the money.
If you don't solve a problem, you won't make the money.
You will not make the money. Because people will pay for the solution you're providing.
Very true, sir.
Are you getting it?
Yes,
so you cannot get money unless you provide a solution. So your focus should be on which problem in the society am I going to solve? Are you getting it? So that is it. And what we are doing is we are gradually changing those narratives, because I've spoken in a number of places. Are you getting it? And by the grace of God, we are getting young people empowered to step out and start something, you know, without really waiting for the money that they need to get started. And so that is it.
Okay, I have two more questions. I know my time is really getting up, but I'm so enjoying this conversation, and I believe that this is something that every young person, I cannot also deny them the chance of course, hearing the news. Like we always say, that Business TV is basically about not just giving you narratives or helping you change narratives and conversations that help you lead a better life as an entrepreneur, but we also provide business opportunities that you can leverage on in Nigeria. So I'm trusting that we're having a good time, but we're going to have to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to continue with you. Just one more question. I know the question you're expecting me to ask, and I'm going to ask that question, but before we get to that question, just don't touch that dial. Just stay tuned and let's take a break. Thank you. Welcome back to Business TV, and in case you're just joining us, we have as our guest today Honorable Remy Chukwunyere, and thank you so much again, sir, for joining us today. We've had an amazing time with you so far, with you giving us the tips for starting a successful business. That's a whole lot of tips, and sir, I trust that anybody who picks some of the things that you have said will successfully run something and start up something and succeed in it. Now, but getting to the crux of the matter, how can startups, youths, are there some opportunities that they can access in growing their business? Because, or let's even say for the people who don't yet have a business, are there some opportunities that you know of that we can access as young people to begin to be productive and begin to harness as businesses?
Okay, very well. There are so many, thousands and one of them.
Okay.
And the problem we have in the system is that many young people are yet to embrace this new concept.
Which is?
Yeah, which is self-employment.
Okay, entrepreneurship.
Basically. So that is the major problem. And so that's why I have a lot of tasks to continue what I'm doing. Can I tell you the truth? We have thousands of those opportunities. Seriously. Now, in the next few days, I will be in Lagos as a member of the advisory board of the funding space.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Funding space is an access to finance platform where investors from around the world, investors, funding agencies, donor agencies, they come around and network with entrepreneurs in Nigeria. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
I was part of it last year. It was amazing. The MD of the Bank of Industry was there, and some other foreign investors. They came. So now it's happening in Lagos, 27 to 28 of this month.
Okay.
Are you getting it? So even there are also opportunities for young people to pitch their ideas and win grants to start up. Are you getting it? Now here in Imo State, the government of Imo State is also coming up, my office, we're coming up with what we call Imo Enterprise Week of Industry and AGDC, that's After School Graduate Development Center. And under the Youth Ignite program, we are trying to engage 2,000 young people, teach them how to start up, and then have access to the Youth Ignite program that is funded by Bank of Industry. It's coming up in Lagos. Then by November, we are also partnering with Startup South, which is another big event where leaders of successful businesses, IT, tech-based businesses are coming to Owerri for the first time.
Okay.
So these are opportunities that we have for young people in Imo State and around the state to grab. By the time you hear some of these people, how they started, maybe the challenges they had while starting, how they overcame, how they got their initial capital. Let me surprise you. You know that some people started their businesses with their alawi. NYC alawi. That's how some people started, and they are doing very well today.
Wow.
And while these other people will be busy running about looking for money, looking for government to give them money, some others are saving their alawi to start up. Okay, let me also tell you, I funded my NGO, an NGO as a youth corper. As a youth corper, African Youth Development Foundation.
Challenge.
As a youth corper. Now let me tell you, it was the same year I finished NYC that I got funded by USAID, United States Agency for International Development. As a youth corper, the same year I finished as a youth corper, my organization got support from USAID. That's how I started. That's how I started. I didn't wait for government to give me money. Are you getting it? That was even what led me into government appointments.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, if you go online, there are millions of opportunities, but are these young people ready to grab them? Here, okay, some my friends, my colleagues, they say, look, you are doing a lot in this entrepreneurship thing. Why do you allow your people from Imo State, why do you allow them to be exported to Lagos and they go there and do all the innovations and all of that? That I should start gathering them so that we can do things in Owerri. I said, are you serious? Everywhere I go, they tell me the same things. Now your boys from Imo State, they're the ones doing all these things in Lagos. Get them together. That was how we started what we call the Imo Young Entrepreneurs Network. I got some photo boys, we came together, and I was amazed when I saw the ideas that these young people have. As I speak with you now, there are some that are into robotics.
Wow.
They are building robots that will do things in Imo State.
Wow.
Are you getting it? So the issue is that it's just a few of them understand this, but the whole majority, they don't understand. They want to run around politicians. They want to run around looking for job. Some people call me. Did you know what they ask me? Sir, we need the job. Sorry, this person will call me. I need a job. I say, what type of job? They say, in government. They will even mention, I want a job in government. They don't want in private sector. Do you know why? They want to in an office where they will do nothing.
Yes.
And earn salaries. They don't care whether it is 20,000 you pay them. They are okay with the 20,000 you pay them, or 30,000 or 50. They are okay. They are okay, comfortable with that. But they don't know that there is something in them that can be turned into a multi-million naira business. Are you getting it? So I started with another campaign. I said, look, every young person, I call it, there is a business in you. There's every young person you see on the street, he has something that can be turned into a multi-million naira business. If I sit down with that person, I will find out that thing that he has that can be turned into a business. So these are the skills I have acquired over these years, engaging with young people. Are you getting it? So, like I said, these opportunities are happening around here in Imo State. For those of them that are listening, they can grab them, and maybe keep following up with the announcements I'll be releasing. Just yesterday, we met at the Women in Technology conference.
Yes. Yeah.
Imagine, it was an opportunity for young people to, but how many of them were there? How many of them were there? Such things happen every day. And the truth is that it's even amazing now. None of them happens without somebody connecting with me. I'm telling you the truth. None of these things now happens in Imo State without somebody say, have you spoken to Remi Chukwunyere? I say, why is everybody coming to me to help them work it out? Okay, there's horse prize coming up in IMSU. Is for school campus stuff. I'm also helping them to work it out. Horse prize is an international prize. So the issue is that our focus should be on changing their mindsets. The opportunities are there. Sure. Even funding opportunities are also there.
Sure.
As I speak with you, my office, last time we released grants, loans from Bank of Industry.
To startups already established.
Yeah, no, whether you are starting up or you already have a business. Yeah,
why I'm asking that, sir, is that basically, first of all, the government and financial institutions find it difficult to help startups. And the only financial institutions that try as much as they can to help startups or SMEs are actually the FMs, the microfinance banks. And the question I'm asking is, how? Because it's not just about, I know there is a place of the mindset being the problem of a lot of people. As a matter of fact, I know it is important to teach people about the entrepreneurial mindset. Because I believe that if the right mindset is installed, I think 70% of the job is done. So, aside from that, there is a part where we discuss about the mindset, the passion, the skills, but there are startups that I can vouch for that their challenges are funding.
Okay, let me tell you. I will just look for you to finish with that. And let me tell you something. If you are a startup and you're looking for money, it will be crazy if you go to the commercial bank to ask for money. Because they won't give you.
Why?
They won't give you. That's not why they are not there to support startups.
Okay.
Are you getting it? They're not there to support startups.
Okay.
Now, there are banks we call development banks.
Okay.
That you can approach, like Bank of Industry, Bank of Agriculture.
Yes.
Somebody went for Nissan and others. They are there for this. Are you getting it? And as I speak with you now, Bank of Industry has over, let me say, 50 different packages, funding packages. They even have what they call fashion fund for fashion designers. How many of them know about it? They even have fund for Nollywood. They have what we call different event program for youth. Over 10 different programs for youth. There's one they call youth entrepreneurship scheme or something.
Okay.
There's one that doesn't require collateral. Some do not even have any interest on them. It's just 0%. Some are just all of their loans are below 10%. Are you getting it? Now, there are some that are for youth, for corporate, there are some for corporate schooling, just to encourage this entrepreneurship drive. So how many of them are interested? How many of them are able to even sit down and write the proposal that they need? Okay, look at your win program, for example. When it was there, are you getting it? When it was first announced, people were reluctant to apply. They said, this thing again, this government thing, is it going to work? So but when they saw that other people got 10 million naira, the next year, over 1 billion people applied. And it's because they have seen it working. But, so then do they have what it takes to get there? Those ideas, have they refined them? Remember I said ideas are like raw materials. Have they refined them to the extent that you can win grants? Have you started something so that the person you want, when you're seeking support from, can look at it and support you? Just like I said, if you don't invest that your little money, nobody will give you more.
Definitely, I can attest to that. Very true.
Are you getting it? So whether you're a student or you're a corporate or you start with that one you have, let's see it first. Let's see your own. If you first is your own. So you don't connect that one and first. Start with your own. If you first will see, you will start again because you have learned what happened. Are you getting it?
Yes,
so now, like I said, you can't go to a commercial bank to ask for, because number one, their percentage interest rate is 20-something%. Can you afford it? They will not give you because you don't have a history. And so that is why when you...
Sorry, get that. They will not give you because you don't have a history. Very important. You have to prove your MVP. You must try out something. You must start first before they see your track record to think of investing in you. Sorry, sir, before you continue.
No, you don't have a history. So those are people's lost money. They can't just...
Very true.
Or they cannot give you...
Your risk.
They can't give you. But when they come there, you have the history. They say, okay, this business is doing well. They even beg big people to come and collect them. Those banks that are rejecting startups are looking for big companies to give money. I get it.
Yes, sir.
So that is it. If you are a startup, there are places to look for money, not in commercial banks, because you won't get there.
Okay. Wow, that's beautiful. Very much. Thank you, sir, for your time. We've had a whole lot. You say a whole lot, as in, I tell you, you've said so much so that I believe that anybody out there can, from the advice that you have given us today, will start up something and be successful in it. And I'm very serious about it because you really hinted some very strong points here. And I would like to just say, as we conclude, as we round up here, it's been an awesome conversation with the Honorable Remy Chukwunyere. And one thing I would say is that, very importantly, every startup, if you believe in your dream, if you believe so strongly in your dream, the first thing you ought to do is to believe so much as to invest that little money you have in it. Invest the little money, invest yourself into proving that you have a solution to a problem. And once you do that and continue with it, very much people will start appreciating what you're doing and gravitating towards you. Because you can't stay somewhere without proving anything and expect for people to show up. You have to try something and be passionate. As a matter of fact, one of the things that we've been discussing about, we've been studying about ideas, you are actually advised to choose ideas that border around your passion. Why? Because when the going gets tough, your passion sustains you. It's like the generator set, it's like the fuel for the generator set. You must have that passion for what you are getting yourself involved in. Otherwise, trust me, the going, when it gets tough, depression will set in. If you're not passionate, you will just fall away, and you will fall into the category of statistics of startups that after 3 years, they fold up and they dissipate. But thank you for joining us today on Biztv TV. It was an awesome time and an awesome moment. Just before we leave, sir, I just want you to say one word to startups out there. Something, just say something to them.
Yeah, just like I said before, the truth is that everyone, I still maintain, everyone has something that he can turn into a multi-million business.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. You have something that you can turn into a multi-million business. All you need to do is to go home, sit down with yourself, find that one thing, because there is business in you. And don't forget, this is Biztv TV. It was such an exciting time with Honorable Remy Chukwunyere, the SA to the Governor on job creation, the job creation addict himself. Thank you so much, sir, for honoring our invitation. We are so grateful to have you. Thank you so much. This is Biztv TV. Until the next time, until the next episode, don't touch that dial. Stay tuned.
Thank you.